There is a pain that almost everyone experiences at some point in life. Someone you trusted hurt you. Someone you cared about changed. Someone you loved walked away. And even when that person is no longer in your life, your mind keeps bringing them back. You replay old conversations. You remember the moments that hurt you. You think about what you should have said. You wonder why they did what they did. And the hardest part is this. The person who hurt you may have moved on, but your mind is still stuck in that moment. This is the invisible weight many people carry every day. Not because the person is still hurting them, but because they haven't learned how to let go. The Stoics understood something powerful. You cannot control what someone did to you, but you can control what you allow that experience to do to you. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, loss, and difficult people throughout his life. He understood that holding on to anger and resentment doesn't punish the person who hurt you. It only keeps you connected to them. Every time you replay the pain, you give that person another moment of your peace. Think about that. Someone who hurt you once can continue hurting you every day, only because your mind keeps reopening the same wound. But what if there was another way? What if letting go didn't mean saying what happened was okay? What if forgiveness didn't mean forgetting the lesson? What if moving on was not weakness, but the ultimate form of self-control? The Stoic way is not about becoming emotionless. It's not about pretending you don't feel pain. It's about becoming strong enough that your pain no longer controls your life. Because a strong mind can remember the past without being trapped by it. A strong mind can acknowledge the hurt without allowing hatred to take over. A strong mind can say, "That happened to me, but it will not define me." And that is where true freedom begins. The first step to letting go is understanding one important truth. You are not suffering only because of what happened. You are suffering because of the meaning you keep attaching to what happened. Two people can experience the same pain. One person becomes bitter. Another person becomes wiser. The difference is not the event. The difference is the way they choose to see it. The Stoics believed that our thoughts create much of our suffering. The situation itself is one thing, but the story we repeatedly tell ourselves about that situation can become much heavier. Maybe someone betrayed your trust. Maybe someone didn't appreciate your value. Maybe someone left when you needed them most. The pain is real, but now you have a choice. Will you carry that pain forever? Or will you use it as a lesson to become stronger? Because the goal is not to erase your memories. The goal is to stop letting those memories control your present. The hardest part about letting go is accepting that you cannot change what already happened. Many people stay trapped because they keep having the same conversation with the past. They think, maybe I should have done something differently. Maybe they will realize my value one day. Maybe they will come back and apologize. Maybe things could have been different. But the past does not listen to your wishes. What happened has already happened. And the longer you fight reality, the longer you keep yourself in pain. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught a powerful lesson. Don't demand that reality be different from what it is. Accept it, then decide how you will respond. Acceptance does not mean you approve of what happened. It does not mean the person was right. It does not mean you forget the lesson. Acceptance simply means you stop wasting your energy fighting something that you cannot change. Imagine holding a hot piece of coal in your hand because you want someone else to feel the pain. The only person getting burned is you. That is exactly what resentment does. You hold on to anger, hoping the other person will somehow suffer. But most of the time, they don't even know you are carrying that weight. Your anger does not hurt them. Your anger hurts you. Every night you spend thinking about them. Every moment you spend replaying the situation. Every time you ask, why did they do this to me? You are giving them control over your mind. And the person who hurt you does not deserve that much power. Your peace is too valuable. Your attention is too valuable. Your life is too valuable. One of the greatest Stoic lessons is this: what you focus on grows. If you constantly focus on betrayal, you create more pain. If you constantly focus on anger, anger becomes your identity. If you constantly focus on what you lost, you forget what you still have. But when you shift your focus toward growth, Healing and becoming stronger. Something changes. The past starts losing its control over you. You begin to understand that some people enter your life as lessons, not as lifelong companions. Some people show you what love looks like. Others show you what boundaries you need. Some people bring happiness. Others bring wisdom. But every experience can teach you something if you choose to learn from it. The second step to letting go is learning to stop seeking closure from the person who hurt you. Many people believe they need an apology before they can move forward. They think, if they just explained why they did it, I would feel better. If they admitted they were wrong, I could finally let go. But what happens when that apology never comes? Do you stay trapped forever? No. Your healing cannot depend on someone else's awareness. Your peace cannot depend on someone else's apology. Sometimes the closure you are waiting for is the closure you need to give yourself. You can tell yourself, I may never understand why they did it. I may never receive the apology I wanted, but I choose not to carry this pain anymore. That is real strength, because anyone can be peaceful when everyone treats them well, but staying calm when someone disappoints you, choosing wisdom when someone hurts you, choosing growth when life feels unfair, that is where true mental strength is built. And this is exactly what Marcus Aurelius practiced. He reminded himself that people will sometimes act from ignorance, weakness, or their own struggles. That does not mean you allow them to hurt you repeatedly. It means you refuse to become a prisoner of their actions. You can create distance. You can set boundaries. You can walk away, but you do not have to carry hatred with you. The third step to letting go is understanding that forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. Many people misunderstand forgiveness. They think forgiving someone means saying, what you did was okay. But that is not true. Forgiveness does not erase the lesson. It does not remove your boundaries. It does not mean you have to invite that person back into your life. Forgiveness means you stop allowing that person and their actions to control your emotions, because there is a big difference between remembering something and reliving it. Remembering helps you learn. Reliving keeps you trapped. You can remember the pain without allowing the pain to become your identity. You can say, yes, that person hurt me. Yes, that experience changed me. But I refuse to let it destroy my peace. That is emotional freedom. Think about how much energy people waste holding on to anger. They wake up thinking about someone who hurt them. They go to sleep replaying old memories. They create imaginary arguments in their mind. They imagine what they would say if they got another chance. But the reality is this: the person you are angry at is living their life, and you are spending your precious moments being controlled by a memory. The past is taking space from your present, and you cannot build a better future while constantly living inside an old wound. The Stoics understood that your attention is one of your greatest forms of power. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. If your attention stays attached to someone who hurt you, your energy stays attached to the pain. But when you bring your attention back to yourself, you begin to heal. You start focusing on your goals, your health, your growth, your peace, your future, and slowly, the person who once controlled your emotions becomes just a chapter in your story, not the entire story. Another powerful Stoic lesson is learning not to take every action personally. Sometimes people hurt others because of their own weaknesses, their own fears, their own lack of awareness. A person who is full of anger often spreads anger. A person who is unhappy often creates unhappiness around them. A person who is not healed often hurts others. This does not excuse their behavior, but understanding this can free you, because you stop asking, why wasn't I enough? And you start understanding, their actions were a reflection of them, not my worth. This is a powerful shift. Many people carry the belief that someone's rejection means they are not valuable. Someone leaves them, and they think they were not good enough. Someone disrespects them, and they question their own value. Someone chooses someone else, and they feel replaced. But your worth is not decided by another person's ability to recognize it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the opinion of others is outside his control, and the same applies to you. You cannot force someone to appreciate you. You cannot force someone to understand you. You cannot force someone to treat you the way you deserve. But you can decide how you treat yourself. You can choose self-respect. You can choose peace. You can choose to stop chasing explanations from people who already showed you their character. Sometimes the greatest form of closure is not a final conversation. Sometimes closure is simply accepting that you deserve better and moving forward. Because every time you choose peace over revenge, every time you choose growth over bitterness, every time you choose yourself over the pain, you become stronger. And that is the true Stoic way of letting go. The fourth step to letting go is learning to release the version of the future you created in your mind. Sometimes the hardest thing to accept is not losing the person. It is losing the future you imagined with that person. You imagined the conversations you would have, the memories you would create, the life you thought you were building together. And when that changes, you don't only miss the person, you miss the possibility. You miss the dream. You miss the version of life you thought was guaranteed. But one of the most important Stoic lessons is this: do not become attached to things you were never promised. People change, situations change, relationships change, life changes, and the more we fight this reality, the more suffering we create. Think about a leaf falling from a tree. The tree does not chase the leaf. The tree does not scream at the wind. It simply accepts that a season has changed. Nature teaches us something powerful. Everything has its time. Some people are meant to walk beside you for years. Some people are meant to teach you one important lesson and leave. The mistake is believing that because someone was important in one chapter of your life, they must remain in every chapter. Sometimes letting go is not about losing someone. Sometimes it is about making space for who you are becoming. Because holding on to the wrong person can prevent you from becoming the right version of yourself. You cannot grow while constantly looking behind you. You cannot build a new life while begging the old one to return. You cannot find peace while fighting reality. The Stoic mind learns to say, that chapter mattered. It changed me. I learned from it. But it is no longer where I belong. This is not weakness. This is wisdom. Another thing you must understand is that healing is not a straight line. Some days you will feel strong. You will feel free. You will believe you have finally moved on. Then suddenly a memory appears. A song, a place, a message, a moment that reminds you of the past. And you feel the pain again. Many people think this means they failed. They think, I thought I was over this. Why am I feeling this again? But healing does not mean you never remember. Healing means the memory no longer controls you. A scar is proof that something happened, but it is also proof that your body knows how to recover. Your mind works the same way. Every time you choose peace instead of anger, you heal. Every time you choose acceptance instead of obsession, you heal. Every time you choose your future instead of your past, you heal. Don't judge yourself for having emotions. You are human. You will feel sadness. You will feel disappointment. You will feel anger. The goal is not to remove emotions. The goal is to stop becoming a slave to them. Marcus Aurelius never taught that we should become cold or emotionless. He taught that we should become masters of ourselves. A person who cannot control their emotions is controlled by the world around them. Someone says something and their mood changes. Someone leaves and their confidence disappears. Someone criticizes them and they lose their peace. But a person with a trained mind responds differently. They feel the emotion. They acknowledge it. Then they decide what action represents their values. That is emotional strength. And this is why letting go is not just about forgetting someone. It is about taking your power back. Because every time you hold on to resentment, you give a piece of yourself to the person who hurt you. But every time you release that resentment, you take that power back. Your peace returns. Your focus returns. Your confidence returns. You begin to understand that the best revenge is not making someone regret losing you. The best revenge is becoming someone who no longer needs their validation. Someone who is peaceful. Someone who is focused. Someone who is stronger because of what they survived. The fifth step to letting go is learning to forgive yourself. Many people focus so much on forgiving the person who hurt them that they forget about the person they need to forgive the most? Themselves. They think, why did I ignore the signs? Why did I trust that person? Why did I allow this to happen? Why didn't I walk away sooner? And slowly, the pain becomes heavier because they are not only hurt by someone else, they are also constantly attacking themselves. But you have to understand something. You made decisions based on the knowledge, emotions, and understanding you had at that time. The person you were yesterday did the best they could with what they knew. Today, you know more. Today, you see things differently. That is not a reason to hate your past self. That is a reason to appreciate your growth. The lesson is not, I was stupid for trusting. The lesson is, now I understand what I deserve. The lesson is not, I wasted my time. The lesson is, now I know where my time and energy should go. The lesson is not, I should have known better. The lesson is, now I know better. This is how a Stoic mind looks at mistakes, not as a reason to destroy yourself, but as an opportunity to become wiser. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that every obstacle could become an opportunity to practice strength and virtue. The same experience that breaks one person can transform another. The difference is how they choose to respond. You cannot change the fact that someone hurt you. You cannot change the choices you made in the past. But you can decide what kind of person you become because of those experiences. Will you become someone who trusts nobody? Someone who carries anger everywhere? Someone who believes love and connection are impossible? Or will you become someone who is wiser, stronger, and more aware? Pain can create bitterness, but pain can also create wisdom. The choice is yours. Another important part of letting go is removing the habit of checking on the person who hurt you. This is something many people struggle with. They say they want to move on, but they keep looking. They check their social media. They wonder what they are doing. They compare their life with theirs. They search for signs that the person regrets losing them. But every time you do this, you reopen the same wound. You are trying to heal while constantly touching the injury. You cannot find peace by continuing to visit the place that took your peace away. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is create distance. Not because you hate them, because you respect yourself. Distance gives your mind space to recover. Distance allows your emotions to settle. Distance helps you see the situation with wisdom instead of attachment. Remember, missing someone does not always mean they are meant to return. Sometimes you miss the memories. Sometimes you miss who you thought they were. Sometimes you miss the feeling you had when things were good. But that does not mean going back is the right choice. The Stoic asks, does this person help me become better? Does this connection bring peace or constant suffering? Am I holding on to reality, or am I holding on to an old version of someone? These questions bring clarity, because sometimes we are not holding on to a person. We are holding on to hope, hope that they will change, hope that they will finally understand, hope that they will become the person we needed them to be. But you cannot build your happiness on someone else's potential. You must accept people as they are, not as you wish they would become. And when you accept reality, you become free. Free from waiting, free from chasing, free from needing answers that may never come. That freedom is the beginning of true peace. The final step to truly let go is to rebuild yourself after the pain. Because letting go is not only about removing someone from your mind, it is about creating a life where their absence no longer controls your happiness. Many people make this mistake. They spend all their energy trying to forget someone. They keep asking, how do I stop thinking about them? How do I erase the memories? How do I stop feeling this pain? But the better question is, how do I become someone who no longer needs to hold on to this pain? Because healing is not about fighting the past. Healing is about building a stronger present. When you improve yourself, your perspective changes. The things that once felt impossible begin to feel smaller. The person you thought you could never live without becomes a lesson you are grateful for, not because the pain was easy, but because it helped you discover your own strength. Start by returning your attention to yourself. Take care of your body. Train your mind. Build your skills. Focus on your goals. Spend time with people who genuinely value you. create a routine that makes you proud, because a person with purpose has less time to be controlled by the past. An empty mind often returns to old wounds, but a focused mind creates a new future. This is why discipline is such an important part of Stoicism. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. Every time you choose your growth over your pain, you are telling yourself, "My future matters more than my past." And that is a powerful decision. Remember, the person who hurt you may have taken a moment from your life, but they do not have the right to take your entire future. Your story is bigger than one person. Your identity is bigger than one relationship. Your value is bigger than someone's inability to appreciate you. One of the greatest lessons from Marcus Aurelius is that we should not allow external events to control our inner state. People will come, people will leave. Some will understand you. Some will misunderstand you. Some will appreciate you. Some will not. But your peace cannot depend on the behavior of others. Because the moment your happiness depends on something outside your control, you give away your power. Take that power back. Stop asking why someone hurt you. Start asking what this experience is teaching you. Stop asking why they changed. Start asking how you can grow. Stop asking when they will realize your worth. Start realizing your worth yourself. Because the strongest people are not those who never get hurt. The strongest people are those who refuse to let pain turn them into someone they don't want to become. They choose kindness without becoming weak. They choose forgiveness without forgetting the lesson. They choose peace without needing everyone to agree with them. That is true emotional strength. And maybe today you are still struggling. Maybe a part of you still misses that person. Maybe you still think about what happened. Maybe some memories still hurt. That is okay. Healing takes time. Do not rush your process. But make yourself one promise. Do not stay stuck in a chapter that has already ended. The past deserves respect, but your future deserves your attention. Every morning you wake up is another opportunity to become stronger. Every difficult experience is another chance to practice wisdom. Every painful memory is another reminder that you survived something you once thought you couldn't. And slowly, day by day, you will notice something changing. You will think about them less. You will feel the pain less. You will stop searching for answers. You will stop needing closure. And one day, you will remember that person and feel nothing but peace. Not because you forgot, but because you healed. The moment you truly let go is the moment you stop fighting for a different past and start creating a better future. You realize something important. The person who hurt you is no longer the most important part of your story. You are. Your growth, your peace, your future. For a long time, you may have believed that healing would come when they apologized, when they understood your pain, when they finally admitted they were wrong, but sometimes that moment never comes. And waiting for it keeps you connected to the very thing you are trying to escape. The Stoic way is different. You stop waiting for someone else to give you peace. You decide to create that peace yourself. Because no one has more power over your mind than you. A person can hurt you once, but only you can decide whether that pain continues to control your life. This does not mean you ignore your emotions. It means you become the person who can handle them. When anger appears, you observe it. When sadness appears, you accept it. When memories appear, you allow them to pass. You do not let every emotion become a command, because emotions are signals. They are not always instructions. Feeling angry does not mean you need revenge. Feeling hurt does not mean you need to hold a grudge. Feeling lonely does not mean you should return to a situation that damaged your peace. A strong mind feels deeply, but chooses wisely. That is the difference between being controlled by emotions and mastering them. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of not adding unnecessary suffering to our lives. Pain is already difficult. Why add years of resentment? Why carry someone in your mind who is no longer carrying you in theirs? Why give your energy to a person who is no longer part of your journey? Your attention is precious. Your time is limited. Your life is happening right now. Do not spend today paying for yesterday's pain. Instead, use that experience as fuel. Let it teach you boundaries. Let it teach you self-respect. Let it teach you what kind of people deserve access to your life. Sometimes the greatest transformation happens after the greatest disappointment. The person who hurt you may have changed your life, but they do not have to decide the direction of your life. That decision belongs to you. You can choose to remain stuck in the memory, or you can choose to become someone stronger because of it. The Stoics believed that every obstacle can become an opportunity. A difficult person can teach you patience. A painful experience can teach you wisdom. A broken relationship can teach you self-worth. The event may not have been in your control, but your response always has been, and your response is where your power exists. So if someone hurt you, remember this. Do not chase revenge. Do not chase explanations forever. Do not chase someone who already showed you their choice. Choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose your growth. Because the strongest version of you is not created by having a perfect life. It is created by learning how to remain peaceful even when life is imperfect. And when you finally let go, something beautiful happens. You stop asking, "Why did they do this to me?" And you start asking, "What can I become because of this?" That question changes everything, because the person who hurt you may have been a chapter in your life, but they were never the author of your story. And now remember the most important lesson. Letting go is not about forgetting someone. It is about remembering yourself. For a while, the pain may have made you question your worth. You may have wondered, why wasn't I enough? Why did they choose to hurt me? Why did they leave? But the truth is, someone's inability to value you does not reduce your value. A diamond does not become less valuable because someone fails to recognize it. Your worth was never decided by another person's actions. It was always within you. The Stoic mindset teaches us that we should build our identity on things we control, not people's opinions, not their approval, not their presence, but our own character, our own choices, our own discipline. Because people can leave, situations can change, life can take unexpected turns, but the person you become through those experiences stays with you. So instead of asking, "How do I make them regret hurting me?" ask, "How do I become so strong that their actions no longer affect my peace?" That is the real victory. Not revenge, not proving a point, not waiting for someone to realize what they lost. The greatest victory is reaching a place where you can look back and say, "It hurt me, but it did not break me. It changed me, but it did not destroy me. It was a lesson, not my ending." This is what emotional freedom looks like. You no longer carry anger everywhere you go. You no longer need answers from people who cannot give them. You no longer allow the past to steal your present. You finally become free. Marcus Aurelius understood that life will always bring difficult people and difficult moments. The goal was never to create a world where nobody hurts you. The goal was to create a mind that remains strong when life hurts you. Because you cannot control every person you meet, but you can control the person you become. So if someone hurt you, take the lesson. Set your boundaries. Protect your peace. But do not poison your own heart by carrying hatred. Let them go. Not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Your future deserves a version of you that is healed. A version of you that is focused. A version of you that is no longer controlled by yesterday. Remember, the chapter may have been painful, but the story is still yours to write. Every day you choose peace over anger, you become stronger. Every day you choose growth over regret, you become wiser. Every day you choose yourself, you move closer to the person you were meant to become. If this video helped you see letting go in a different way, share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me, what is one thing you are choosing to let go of today? Your comment might inspire someone else who is going through the same struggle. If you want more lessons on Stoicism, emotional control, and building an unshakable mind, subscribe to The Stoic Edge. Remember, you cannot control what people do. You cannot change what happened, but you can always control what happens inside you. Master your mind, protect your peace, and keep becoming stronger.